All right, Mal, what's your topic?
Card game.
What?
More card games.
Yeah. Our Devastation's coming out soon.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, their next set, which is the second to last small set, at least for the foreseeable future, because the same week as E3, WotC had their announcement week, Wizards of the Coast, and they're no longer doing individual blocks, or like instead, just gonna each set is a large set that will be more individual from the rest. They'll stay on a plane as long as they want, basically.
I'm glad that they don't feel restricted by that anymore.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Also, core sets are coming back.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about more than anything.
But yeah, so we got our Devastation coming up. As of the time this will be released, it'll be the pre-release is on
that weekend,
the
I
8th.
believe.
Yeah, and then the 15th for the full release. It's so the last set, Amonkhet, was an Egyptian-themed set with a Nicol Bolas sub-theme. This is the reverse. Nicol Bolas finally gets to be front and center. He's like Magic's longest reigning big bad.
Yep.
So powerful that an entire format was named after him and his kin, because he's an Elder Dragon, and Commander originally started out as Elder Dragon Highlander. But when Magic or WotC got a hold, or like started supporting it, they dropped the Highlander and just started calling it Commander because that's trademarked.
Yeah.
Because the Highlander literally was a reference because there can only be one card in your whole deck, so of each type. But yeah, so he's been around for a long time, been in some big things, but always manipulating from the shadows. But the Gatewatch, basically Magic's Avenger team, came to Amonkhet to figure out what he was up to and try and get the jump on him. And the story with Amonkhet ends with the second sun that finally reaches its peak, signals that Nicol Bolas will be arriving. And
he's the god pharaoh of Amonkhet, basically like the central deity. That it's a polytheistic society. There's literally like gods walking among the people and stuff, but Nicol Bolas is like the most revered one in their society.
Yeah, there's a really cool story that just started. It was all from his perspective, and it explained like how he came to this plane and corrupted it to his own. He took aspects about the plane and rewrote them for his own doing, basically.
Yep, and left behind prophecies about his second coming, basically.
Yeah, and installed the second sun.
So here's a question from somebody who's not well versed in Magic the Gathering lore. Why is Nicol Bolas this big bad? Like, what makes him the
because he is? I mean, he wants more power. That's basically everything. And especially since he stopped being, so originally Planeswalkers were just gods unto themselves, could create basically an entire plane if they wanted to. And after the mending happened, he really wants more, his old power back. Has been basically his goal since the mending happened.
Okay, so it's just that he's power hungry. I mean, does it really show that he's more tyrant-y, or is it just that he's this power hungry, will do anything to get more power?
He's like an interesting take on a god complex, because he lost basically like his supreme godlike powers in a way and wants to get them back. So he's like had a taste of it, and he wants it again.
Yeah, the last time he really showed up was in, I think it was the Alara set, which was like 5 demi-planes that each were missing 2 of the colors of mana, and he orchestrated the conflux, which they all collided back together, and he tried to absorb the power of the conflux, and he failed because of intervention from another planeswalker lion man named Johnny.
Johnny!
Yeah. But, so yeah, they didn't really know what was up, because when they got to the plane, everyone loved him, and it seemed like it was everyone had a pretty nice life going on, like, glory to him.
Like the gods literally walked around. I think Gideon was like, how could Nicol Bolas let, basically, like, these altruistic creatures, like, control the plane and be these things of worship, because he's so corrupt and an enemy.
But this one starts with the gates. These giant gates, can't remember the exact name for them, but they were opening. They're supposed to lead to paradise, and it was just like more desert wasteland. And a demon flies out, Razaketh, who Liliana did not mention to the rest that he was on the plane and that she wanted to kill him because he holds one of the contracts that she made to gain her youth back and power. He uses some blood magic and turns basically the equivalent of the Nile that's running through the city into blood. and killing everything
kills all
in
the
it.
animals in it.
Yeah. And then she mind melds with some zombie crocodiles and just devours him.
Yeah, with the help of the rest of the Gatewatch.
Yeah, it was a thing. Like, it was an interesting story. Like, the descriptions going on, like, because she actually like felt like as they devoured him, she could like feel it going on and filling up.
Yeah,
I actually like Liliana. Like, from the story bits that I've heard.
Yeah, she's an interesting character. Because she's on the side of the good guys, sort of, but she's like, the black character of.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say it's using black magic, but showing black energy, I guess, but showing that it's not in and of itself evil. There's evil in other.
Yeah,
ones,
they always say that it's black's the color of amorality, so she just has no morals.
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't mean she has to use it for evil, though she doesn't care if she does.
Yeah. She's very selfish.
Yeah.
His the Razorketh card was no Gristlebrand, which was another one of her demons.
Yeah.
But that's not surprising since he's like the best creature card in all of Magic practically. But yeah, so after that, some three of the corrupt gods wake up and start destroying everything. Just the city and its denizens, laying waste to the last safe place on Amonkhet. And then it eventually leads up to because these are all different hours leading up to the final hour of Devastation, where Nicol Bolas shows up and deals 5 damage to all creatures and all planeswalkers not named Bolas. And he just raffle stomps the Gatewatch. They're like, we can do it. And he's like, no, you can't.
That's what I want to see this so bad.
Yeah. Is that
flavor text,
guys? No, you don't.
Yeah.
They need their
Is that the torment of Hellfire?
Because my favorite scene in like role playing games is always the scene where the party's trucking along. They're running through bad guys like nobody's business. They come against not necessarily the big bad, but a big bad, and just get their shit stomped in. They realize that it's getting real at this point. This is the moment that I've wanted to see come to the Gatewatch.
They were basically riding high off of defeating Eldrazi, or at least sort of defeating Emrakul,
saving
and then Kaladesh.
Yeah.
And they made an entire cycle of cards that shows each of the members' defeat with and the card specifically says if this does something to that, like if this destroys the planeswalker named Liliana, get an extra effect. And they all have flavor text of Nicol Bolas just talking down to them.
Yep, it's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that.
And
do you think that'll get?
Oh, what's that?
I was just gonna say, do you think that'll get much play if it specifically is calling out certain?
Probably not, because the effect of the cards all target the red card targets red creatures only, and then
they're very
or planeswalkers,
right.
And then they're all very color hate cards. Like they all hate on the color they are.
Right.
They're all decent.
So they'll be
cards.
sidebarred. I think the blue one saw sideboard in its standard. So the blue one is almost very similar to a previous card they did back in Theros that hated only blue cards, but it countered them. I think it saw some play in standard, but blue was a lot better than I think.
Yeah.
So and then it reveals Bolas had corrupted what were the trials of basically of devotion that they did once a generation for these the gods. He made it basically where it's happening all the time, and then the people that come out on top of the trials are killed ceremoniously by the red god and taken to what they their eventual afterlife. And it's revealed that those are the top of the top that he are making into his zombie warriors, his eternal, and he's equipping them with super fancy blue armor. And he'll probably use the planar portal he got on Kaladesh to send them throughout the realms somehow. I don't know exactly where that's going, but
yeah,
I'm interested.
I just want to see.
It's cool.
I like Amonkhet as a plane too, and it makes me sad. But in order to see the Gatewatch get their comeuppance, I think it needs to be completely destroyed.
Well, the city that was the last gets destroyed, but they kept it. They did pretty well with the spoiler season because they haven't revealed much of the cards up until the last day or two. There's some hope for Amonkhet. There's Survivor Camp, and there are other some of the green cards that flavor text talks about restoring Amonkhet.
Yeah, I'd at least like to see super devastated. Maybe we won't come back to it for a long while, but
probably not. But it's cool. It's nice to see the planeswalkers get theirs, or the Gatewatch.
You want to talk new mechanics at all?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I've liked the story, and they seem to be getting kind of more of the groove as it's gone on. Zendikar was pretty bad, but everything was pretty bad in the Zendikar.
Yeah, I didn't really like the last two sets.
Cards story.
Yeah, I started playing in Shadows, obviously, so I thought the last two story things were really meh, but this one's been a lot better in my opinion.
I didn't love Kaladesh, but I think Shadows was pretty cool. It was just people were getting Eldrazi fatigue.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Emrakul, like the finale was pretty cool. But as far as actual cards, so there was Cycling, Exert, Aftermath cards, and -1/-1 counters are all still there from Amonkhet, previous mechanics.
They back.
Yeah, and then new mechanics, there is Eternalize, which is to signify creatures becoming his Bolas's Eternal, where you pay the cost while it's in the graveyard, and it comes back as a copy, similar to Embalm from the previous set, but it always comes back as a black zombie instead of a white zombie before, and now always a 4/4, which is always higher stats than the original. And then they usually have abilities that play off of having better stats. Like there's a 1/1 that becomes a 4/4 and has double strike, so that's way better.
Yep.
And another one that has the ability to, if it does damage to an opponent, they discard however many cards as the power. So having the higher power means they discard more cards.
Yeah. And was Embalm instant speed? I can't remember.
That is a good question.
Because it says sorcery specific on this.
Yeah, then no, it's the same.
Okay.
Embalm was sorcery too.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool mechanic.
Yeah, it's good.
Everyone's got at least one in every color, but it's mostly blue-black. Blue-black, I believe. Mm-hmm. Or no, blue-white, actually. Because blue-black and red, the Grixis colors that Nicol Bolas is, gets Afflict, which is... it'll always have a number, so like Afflict 2, which means if they are blocked, they still do 2 damage, even if they're blocked. So and then they'll have... mechanics like there's one creature with only one power but afflict 4, but if he's not blocked you get to play an instant or sorcery for free. So
and that damage is to the player, not to the creature.
It's to the player. And then while not a mechanic, there is a small desert theme on the lands or the desert lands and creatures and other things that will play off of whether if there's a desert in play or in the graveyard, you'll get some sort of effect.
Yep. Oh, I can't wait to go to pre-release and try to make a desert deck that's going to be awful.
Yeah. I haven't really seen anything in the desert theme that's like probably going to be big enough to make it in standard, but it'll be fun in limited, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about standard. I don't play it, but it doesn't look like they had a lot of hits on constructed playables in this set, unfortunately, or at least on the rares.
Yeah.
The Tide Chiller card, Hour of Devastation, people are hoping will make blue-red control thing. That looks pretty powerful. There's a pretty powerful Angel that's 4 mana for a 3/3 flying vigilance, and then you can tap it, pay 3 mana, and blink a creature, which is like they leave and come back into play.
Yeah.
Or you can pay 3 mana, tap it, and exert it, and exile a creature until the Angel goes away.
Yeah, Nicol Bolas is also good too, but was probably
he's expensive.
Was better until Marvel got banned.
Yep.
So, wah. Yeah, I'm really excited for blue-red control again because our Devastation just sounds like it slides right into it, and your one creature that you're playing in that deck doesn't get killed by it, Torrential Gearhulk. So,
yep. I'm looking forward to the limited. It looks like people think this set I've seen a lot of people say that this set looks better than Amonkhet, which is pretty rare for a small set.
Yeah.
But I think that's in mostly limited talk. But it looks like it's still going to be pretty fast. Like Afflict just doesn't encourage blocking really, just like Exert. So it'll probably be pretty fast as a draft format. But the Sealed will probably still be on the slower side, where Embalm and Eternalize are more important. So you'll have so if you want fast, you go with draft, and if you want slower, you go with Sealed.
Favorite card, Torment of Hellfire for me.
I
just love the art and the flavor text on the card.
It'd make a good play mat.
That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, I want this on a playmat so bad. This is the ultimate smug bad guy, like completely wrecking everything card.
Yeah, this set also has a lot of good cards for Commander, which is pretty fitting. I think like that one will be brutal because it hits all opponents.
Yeah.
I really like Hour of Devastation, but I think I'm gonna go with Neheb the Eternal, who is it's also a red card. It's 3 red for a 4/6 legendary zombie Minotaur warrior. Because it's a zombie version of a card from Amonkhet. Mm-hmm. He's been made into an Eternal, and it's got Afflict 3, and then you get a red mana for every amount of damage. You get 1 red mana in your post-combat phase for every life your opponents have lost this turn.
Yeah, that can be really
So it just
strong.
looks fun and has pretty cool
Also
art.
goes well with our Devastation.
Yeah. No. Opponents lost. Does it hit? That doesn't hit opponents.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a board wipe.
He is at least safe from it, though. If he wasn't
That is
blocked.
true.
The card I'm most sad about is Samut the Tested. Red-green just never gets good planeswalkers.
No, I don't. They haven't made a single good red-green planeswalker. Really.
Oh, Alan Cord.
I've seen some people say this is worse than Tybalt, which is pretty brutal, but it's probably one of the worst planeswalkers.
Yeah.
I like the set. It looks fun. I'm gonna probably play or draft it quite a bit. I loved OG Zendikar, best draft set. Super fast. And yeah, that's
Are you going to pre-release again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I may try to go to an actual Friday one this time and do 2.
Fridays means midnight.
Well, yeah, it's Saturday technically, but whatever.
Yeah, I was just saying you have to do midnight.
Yeah, I know. So
Yeah.
maybe do like the midnight one and then Sunday as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, they also announced that after Amonkhet is Ixalan, which is pirates and dinosaurs, which just seems really silly and
Complete
fun.
left turn.
I may return to Magic the Gathering
I
for
would have to
Pirates
look
and
that
Dinosaurs.
set up. I'm gonna have to probably look that set up. And Pirates and Dinosaurs that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I think we've seen some leaked cards from it too.
Yeah, there have been quite a I think someone swiped the entire rare sheet in foil. I've kind of stayed away from it. I saw like a few of the initial ones, but I've kind of stayed away because it's just too early.
Yeah, I want to focus on this stuff.
Yeah.